Going on, everyone? Today we're taking a look at Turok, which is a better game than Ark on the Switch. So if you're wondering about that, it's more fun, it runs better, and in some cases, it looks better. It is basically Night Dive Studios has taken Turok and moved it to some of the current platforms. They moved it to the Xbox One last year, and this year they've brought it to the Nintendo Switch. They've also made some I guess some rumors or some thoughts put out there about them possibly moving the second Turok over to the Switch as well. That was something that was found on their Discord server that was being mentioned. And Night Dive, if you're listening, go ahead and do that because that would be really cool. So this is Turok that they have now moved over, and it is a better looking version of the N64 game. Essentially, they've taken it, they've modernized it in terms of controls, and they've kind of smoothed out the visuals, but it's still mostly working with the same textures and everything. So if you look at Nintendo 64 games and you believe they look completely dated and you don't think an upscale would help, you might not like the look of this game. But for people who maybe played Turok back in the day, like I rented it, I played it, thought it was pretty good back then, you'll probably enjoy this. Now it's $19.99 and it's out on Monday. We had an early copy here to take a look at, and I kind of wanted to show you guys some of the gameplay, and you can decide if this is something that you would like to have. So let me go through the settings first, because there is a lot to take in here. This isn't just a simple port job, as I've noticed, because they've added some different things. Right away, you see achievements. They have full achievements, like integrated into the game. So as you play through and you do things, you will actually have these unlocked. This is still kind of early in the game on the Switch version. I did play it on the Xbox One last year when they released it, but this is kind of early on with the Switch version. Now, if you go into the options, they also added a couple other things, including Gyro Controls. So if you enjoy kind of having that, I guess, just the motion controls for aiming and everything, they do have that here. I tried it with the Pro Controller, and I wasn't as good with that because it's a little weird with the Pro Controller. I think the gyroscope controls are set up a bit more for like split Joy-Con play, because when I'm using it, if I kind of move the control up and down, it aims up and down, but instead of going kind of like this, you kind of rotate it, and that's how you go left and right. It just wasn't really clicking for me. Other people may enjoy it, and it's there. They also have sensitivity for the horizontal and the vertical axis and invert controls, so they have a lot going on there. The controller, if you just want to use the two sticks, which they did make it so that, because obviously the Nintendo 64 you had one stick, they made it so you can look around, obviously the right stick, move, strafe, go forward and back with the left stick, as we've kind of been used to now. Now the actions can all be changed. You can mess around with the button controls and everything. I like kind of how they have them set up already though, so I don't really want to mess with them too much, mostly just because they're pretty good. So the way they kind of have this here is they have it so that everything is kind of on top. So, like, jumping is ZL, for example, attack is ZR, and you can cycle through your weapons with R and L. So you pretty much don't have to take your fingers, or your thumbs, I should say, off of the sticks. The only thing you'd have to do that for is if you want to bring up the auto map, or the map that you can actually put in front of you. It's like a little wireframe. Kind of reminds me of the Doom days, when you'd have, like, a wireframe map. They also have cheats, which were pretty funny, because if you know the cheats, which you have to look up the Nintendo 64 ones, by the way. I'd looked up the invincibility one just to see. I input it, and yes, it brings up invincibility. Activating them, as you see at the bottom, will disable achievements for the active game, so you have to, like, restart and everything. But you go in here, you enter the cheat, and then if it comes up and it's good, then you can do that. It's pretty funny. Graphics, they have bloom, water refraction. You can change your field of view, and then you have brightness and saturation settings. So overall, yeah, there's a lot of things you can do there to kind of change the look of it a bit for your TV and kind of set it up there, or your control scheme. So pretty cool actually to see all of that. You save when you get to certain points in the game, and then you can load your game up. So let's actually play here. It is a smooth experience compared to obviously the 64. I think the Xbox One version is a bit smoother, go figure. But this is a smoother experience by quite a bit compared to that Nintendo 64 version. But you're going to have to decide if this is a game you want at the $20 price point. I think people who enjoyed the game on the 64 will probably enjoy it here as well, because it's still fun. That's going to be something that people who are new to the series have to figure out if it's something that they will enjoy. That's just kind of the way it is. And I'm hoping that by kind of watching some gameplay of it here, you'll be able to get a handle on if it's something you enjoy. Now, there are no there's no reloading in the game. You basically just run around and shoot stuff, which is fun. You know, you don't have to play around too much with reloads or anything. So it's like back then, that's kind of how it was. Like Doom and everything. Obviously, the new Doom 2016 kind of played into that as well. But you don't have to worry about that, so that's pretty fun. And they have, basically right now I'm going through and I'm looking for keys currently. Let me see if I have, all right, so I have my clip there for a handgun. And it's pretty straightforward. I do like I like the old school shooters still because they're more mindless. But obviously they are missing some of the features from the newer stuff, but still really fun. So handheld mode plays well. I was actually pretty happy with it. It's fine. It's also smooth. In fact, I used to do footage at the end of these where I would show you what it looks like in handheld mode when playing it. But now we're to the point where people have like their own like setup to where they can record directly from it, which works really well now because YouTube exists on the Switch. So of course, if you want to view it on your Switch, all you do is look it up there, and you will actually get a really good experience just what it looks like on your Switch just by viewing that handheld footage with the YouTube app on your Switch. Nate actually did a handheld footage video for this on his channel, so actually the link below if you want to see that. What I will do though, for people who are curious about this game in general, I will at the end of this video leave like a minute or two of just straight up footage without like me being in frame or anything, so we can kind of get a look at what it's kind of like without me talking over it. And I'll also turn up like the background volume and everything so you can get a good listen to it there. Something I did not mention, and I'm going to do that now, is that there is an option to pick between Nintendo 64. Oh wow, I blew them up pretty good. Nintendo 64 and like a PC audio. So they have both tracks, it seems, in there. Oh, there you go. Achievement, secret area discovered. So there you go. I got an achievement. It pops up just like that. And let me grab this. Cool. So yeah, they have secrets and everything you can find in the game. Found that one. And there's a good bit of stuff to do. I want to say it's completely linear, but not quite. Like, there are things to kind of look around and find in the game. And I remember back on the 64, this was a different type of first-person shooter. Now, when they do get to some of the older or some of the later Turoks, I was wondering if they would look more into the into the multiplayer aspect. Like, would they add in like online multiplayer? That would be kind of cool. It's gonna be interesting what Night Dive if they continue, getting the Turoks and stuff. I know they've been. I'm trying to remember if they brought out the second one on the Xbox. I just know I picked this one up and played it and enjoyed it as kind of like a blast from the past kind of thing. So it was pretty fun. I don't know, it was cool. It was a cool little thing to get. But it's also, like I said, it's going to come down to your preference if you enjoy these types of games. So now I'm underwater. I'm kind of swimming forward here. And, no, this guy down here. I have a knife. I guess I'll knife him. It was just back then, I mean, it was, dinosaurs were kind of like, oh, I got an auto rifle, nice. Dinosaurs were kind of like what we treat zombies now. There were a lot of dinosaur games back then, which was fun. Now it's all zombies and stuff, and Battle Royale. Can't forget about Battle Royale. But it's fun stuff. What I will do here, though, guys, is I'll leave you with some footage of the game, just like straight up. I am enjoying my time with it. I think it's worth a pickup. For me, it is. That's the thing, though. It's going to come down to what you are interested in, and if $20 is worth it to you. Because at the end of the day, it's still an old N64 game. And, I mean, $20 is what they charged on the Xbox One when I bought it, and I feel like I got my time out of it. But, again, it's up to you guys. I think it will probably go on sale a bunch of times, too, though. So, just because it's $20 now doesn't mean it won't be, like, $10 in a month or two down the road or something. So, keep that in mind, too. Thanks, guys, for watching. And make sure you like the video if you liked it. Dislike if not, and get subscribed as we go through other games as they come out and news around the technology and video game world. And I'll see you guys in the next video.